I think we're live now. I think I hit the correct buttons. It looks like it to me. Hey, welcome to the channel, guys. Today, chain link, I guess. I did some training stuff at work today, and that kind of nuked my brain, so I didn't really think about what to make today. And we're late going live by a couple of minutes because we were just standing here discussing what to make. And I really can't think of anything. So we're just going to make it like a real easy day and probably make some chain links. Maybe Brittany will jump in here and swing a hammer for a bit, or maybe Levi. We'll just go from there. Usually, as I say, gotta kill my volume too. Smoking another Mark 20 today. El Presidente size. So yeah, I don't know, like the high today here in Indy was like 54, 56. Somebody back me up on that. 56. It's pretty chilly, so I'm looking to get this fire going. I feel like I'm farther away from the fire than usual. I definitely am. All right, well, we'll be all right. So yeah, let's make some chain link. Do I have some more for that? We have one that was started. Let's see if we can find some metal to make chain link with. So I have this stick here that I put a really pretty handle on. So I think I'm just going to cut that handle off and turn it into something else later if I ever come up with an idea for it. And we'll just start chunking this bar off into links to make chain. Should have been paying more attention during the setup. My anvil's way off. Wonder how hard it would be to shift this. I don't know.
Shift.
We're like a foot away from where we normally are. So the fire is farther away now. But that involves moving lights and cameras, and I'll just take some extra steps today. That's all right.
It's not like we couldn't use the exercise, right?
Could definitely use the extra exercise. You're right. But yeah. So how was everybody's weekend? If you're in the comments, if you're watching, how'd things go? Tell you, one of these days I'm going to get all the pieces I need to make a coal shovel. That'll be real nice.
Do you have a piece of flat to make a coal shovel?
I have actually a scoop that just needs a little bit of reshaping, and well, not a scoop, but like the shovel bit that just needs a little bit of reshaping, and then put a handle on it.
Seems like a good project for today. Do some riveting.
I have copper rivets. I don't know if I have the right kind of stock to put a handle on it, though. I don't want real thin, flimsy stuff being the handle.
Could take 3 pieces, braid it together, and then forge weld the end of it, rivet that with some mild steel. It'd be super fancy.
That sounds like a lot of work.
That sounds like a lot of work.
Of daylight we're gonna have.
Yeah, that too. And this fire got all sorts of cooked up on me, man.
Got it. Pretty bad.
You want to stay in there? All right then.
Somebody needs to tell her it's not 6 o'clock in the morning right now. She needs to stop barking.
Someone needs to tell her to stop barking at 6 a.m. in the morning, too.
She has to. And she only got out like 2 full barks before I got up. Okay, she only got out 2 full barks that I remember before I got up. I can't be held responsible for anything that's happening with her while I'm asleep.
Yeah, I don't know if the camera is picking up anything of what you're saying, but basically, Brittany's dog wakes us up very early every morning to go potty.
You don't have to bring Rish out.
Yeah, I do.
I can take her out.
That's not fair to make you do it all.
She'll do it for me.
Good. Hi, all. We're all out of sorts on today's stream.
I blame the cold weather.
I'll just set that there for now.
Want me to change the camera angle so they can see you playing with the fire?
If I say yes to you, now here's the funny part. I don't remember which part is cold and which part is hot. Okay, that's my end. There we go.
Yeah,
See, if I say, yeah, Levi, go ahead and adjust that camera angle, my head's going to say, hey, why you do that? Let's just move everything. And I don't know if I want to do that.
Well, the anvil camera can get a good look of the fire. I was just going to switch to that one, not move anything around.
Well, you know me. If it's worth doing, it's worth overdoing, right?
Yeah.
You know what? I may come to regret it, but I'm going to beef up the blower a little bit. We'll see if I regret it or not.
Depends on how much we can distract you.
I know it probably doesn't look like much, but it's like super distracting for me. I'm used to everything being right there, and it's messing with my head a little bit. Pardon us 1 minute here while we do a quick reshuffle. How's that look? That looks about right. We'll move that. We're gonna move that. Yeah. All right, that feels a little better. Is that falling over or is that just me? All right. That's about right. How's this camera looking? Oh, too close. Move that back just a skosh. There we go. That feels more like home. There we go. Feels like home to me, said Randy Newman with Bonnie Raitt. Doop. What was the name of that album? Angels and something. But yeah, did song Feels Like Home with Bonnie Raitt. And he's very much vocally outclassed by Bonnie Raitt. But he gives the old college try of keeping up with her. What is that album called? Angels and Demons or something like that.
That's the Dan Brown one. Or not Dan Brown, but who wrote the Detroit?
I'm pretty sure it's Dan Brown. Pretty sure.
And Angels and Demons was Dan Brown.
Can one of you figure out what the name of that album I'm thinking of is?
I'm working on it.
Why did I grab a drink? Anybody else need a drink?
You're welcome to it, my friend.
Can we take a Pepsi, please?
All right, we're starting to get red in there so we can start to chopping this. So yeah, like I said, I made a pretty handle the other day. Brittany's working on a fire poker, and I was showing her how to do the handle in the back. So I put a handle on this, and it looks kind of nice. It's not my best work, but it looks pretty good. So I don't want to just like throw it in scrap. So I'm going to leave a little bit left on it, and then maybe turn it into a scoop of some kind for like potatoes. Scoop ski potatoes is right.
Faust? Faust?
That's the name of the. That's not the name of the album.
Bonnie Raitt and
Raitt.
Randy Newman?
Yep. Yes.
Appears on his album Faust.
What year?
95.
Okay, there is a different album that came out in like 08, 09. Ompa. All right, we'll get that hot again so I can lob off a piece for chain. Ready for hot metal in the yard.
Hearts
So, yeah.
and Angels.
Hearts and Angels.
Harps. Like a harp that you
Oh,
play.
harps. Thank you. So yeah, nifty little handle I did the other day. I don't want to just like throw that away because it's got about the right symmetry. So I'll come up with something to stick on the end of it. Funny story about Randy Newman. He released an album. I can't remember the name of the album, but it had some great songs on it. Political Science, Short People, Lonely at the Top, I think was on it maybe. But what's funny is when Short People got released, so the premise of the song is short people have no reason to live. And he then goes on to describe why short people have no reason to live. And people were irate over it. They were buying up his albums and taking them out to the street and piling them up and burning them in protest of his song Short People.
The album? Little Criminals.
Little Criminals, thank you. I think I might have that on vinyl in there. But yeah, there's Why I Love Mankind, I believe is on that album, which is a song written from the perspective of God looking down on us. There's another song about God called He Gives Us All His Love that's very, very cheeky, very just a very sarcastic view on religion. Missed that one altogether. So, as usual, when we cut on the hot cut, we don't cut all the way through on the hot cut, because that's a really good way of launching hot metal across the shop or yard, as it may be. And you won't make friends if you hit them with hot metal, generally speaking.
Have you met some of my friends?
How many of them have you hit with hot metal?
On accident? None.
Also, I got to talk about how flat this hot cut is over here. It's more like a hot blunt. So, yeah, I'm going to have to hit that on the grinder tomorrow. I got to make a coffee scoop for a customer. So I'm going to shape the scoop part from square to round on the grinder. So while I'm at it, I'll fix this hot cut. But yeah, what was it called? Little Criminals? Is that what you said the name of the album was?
Yep.
So I highly recommend go listen to the album Little Criminals. Listen to at least the tracks I mentioned, and then tell me in the comments why I'm a terrible person or why the album's funny. Now I got that song He Gives Us All His Love playing in my head. So like when we use our hot cut, like totally, we cut to the middle so there's less of a rag on the end. That was a shouty. We're a little bit hot. I think the fire is finally roaring where we want it to be. Good old Randy Newman. Which most of the people watching this stream, based off of the demographic information I see through YouTube, most of you guys know Randy Newman from doing the soundtrack to
Toy Story.
Toy Story is right. What was that? What was it?
When I was searching his albums,
Oh, he just
Toy Story popped up.
cheater.
Hey.
But yeah, you know, you got a friend in me. You're that guy. He was also made fun of by Family Guy in an early season of Family Guy. It was during an apocalypse situation, and he was just sitting under a tree singing about things he sees. He's like, fat man with his kids and dog, you know? Good stuff. What were you saying, Levi?
The only thing I can think of when I hear Randy Newman is the Numa Numa A song, which
That's Newman.
no correlation to him. It's just Michael.
Sparks beat potatoes.
Yeah, the sparks weren't on purpose that time. I'm going to set that one to the side. That may not link. But yeah, good old Randy Newman. A song of his was featured on the soundtrack for the movie You've Got Mail with Meg Ryan and
Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks. Thank you. I kept thinking Paul Schaefer. I knew that wasn't right.
Never heard of it.
It was back when like AOL had the voice for their emails.
You've got mail. Back on our dial-up days. Since Levi, you said you don't know the movie, which I'm not surprised. I'd be more surprised if I named a movie you had seen. But the premise of the movie is Tom Hanks' character, I can't remember his first name, but his last name was Fox, goes on a chat room for like singles, back when chat rooms were a thing and relevant on dial-up internet. Kids, ask your parents about it. So,
I don't know, at this point in time, my parents ask their parents about it.
oh,
Yep.
so he goes into a chat room to meet singles, and he meets Shop Girl 95 or something like that. Was her name. And she happens to be Meg Ryan, and she owns a bookstore. like a little hole in the wall brick and mortar bookstore that they've been in there for like a billion years. I think it was her mom's store originally when she was a tiny little girl and she grew up and it became hers. But Tom Hanks, or whatever his name is, something Fox, he owns Fox Books. And he's like the big, like ginormous
He's like the
Barnes and Noble kind of thing. Yeah, I couldn't think of the name of a bookstore because it's 2025 almost. But
Million voters.
yeah, so he's got that guy. So he is building a big giant bookstore like a block away that's going to put her out of business. And he knows that before she does. He even went into her shop to like scout around and see what's up, and that's how they meet. But they already know each other from the internet, but it was the internet back then, no pictures online, so they didn't know. And then they of course fall in love, and there's a big fight because he's going to put her out of business. Da, 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 da. It's basically Sleepless in Seattle, but with the internet.
Had no relevance for me.
Well, you see, Sleepless in Seattle.
It's what's his name?
No, not Sleepless in Seattle. When Harry Met Sally. That's what it's kind of like. Meg Ryan was in When Harry Met Sally, not Sleepless in Seattle. I am so dumb. I'm standing here like, where are my tongs at? I need to break this apart. And I'm annoyed, like, where are my tongs? I swear, kids, I didn't get into the spicy apple juice before the stream. All right, we're going to leave this handled piece alone. Maybe Brittany will figure out something to do with that. All right, I'm not Fonzie today. So yeah, You've Got Mail. It's a real cute late 90s movie.
Stereotypical rom-com.
Yeah, they meet, they get along over a simple miscommunication. There's a huge fight and a blow up, and then the man has to prove his love and come, riding in on a limo to save her from working in the streets of LA, or which is another movie, Pretty Woman, that you guys don't know because you haven't seen that.
Yes, I have. I think. I know Julia Roberts is in it. That's gonna count for something. And what, Richard Gere?
Sure is.
I've at least heard of Pretty Woman.
It's a great movie. It really is. A streetwalker with a heart of gold meets a rich trust fund kid who hates his father. He rescues her from the streets and she rescues him right back, which is a line in the movie. My favorite line in the movie, that's a little one. Favorite line in the movie is during the final credits. Is there a tree falling down or something?
No, squirrel fights.
Squirrels. So during the end credits of that movie.
Which one? Because we're talking about like 3 different.
Yeah, keep up. It's gonna be a rough one tonight. So oh my god, I am not welding tonight. Why is my fire that hot? So in Pretty Woman, at the very end, the credits are rolling. Most people are probably exiting the movie theater or switching to restreaming Friends for the 100th time. And there's this this African-American gentleman, potentially homeless. We don't know. We don't know his story. But he comes walking across the street and he's like, "What's your dream? Welcome to Hollywood. You got to keep dreaming." And he just does this whole real jazzy, like, about not giving up on your dreams and going out there. And it's just, I love that scene. I just love his voice and his inflection. And he's like preaching a sermon while he's walking across the street.
You later learned
Everybody's got a dream.
that it was Morgan Freeman.
Welcome to Hollywood. Gotta keep dreaming.
Is that John Cusack?
Also Tom Hanks.
I haven't seen that movie in years.
He's going through a divorce. He has a son. Things aren't great. And his son listens to a radio show. Kids, before streaming music, these people, we called them DJs, they sat in a booth and they would spin discs or vinyl records or even cassettes or CDs, and it would be broadcast out over the air, and we'd listen to it in our cars and in our bedrooms and stuff. But there was a talk show, and the kid calls into the talk show, and he's like, my dad's up all night, he doesn't have a woman, da 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 da. And they're like, well, what's your dad like? He's like, well, he's a nice guy, this, and he does that, and he takes care of me real good, but we're lonely, and we had microwave dinners for the 8th time, and blah, blah, blah. And they're like, well, your dad sounds like a great guy. Can we talk to him? And he goes and gets his dad, and he's like, hey, they want to talk to you. He's like, who wants to talk to me? She's like, the radio. He's like, what, am I on the radio? And they're like, yeah, so hi, you're on such and such radio show. And then he gets sucked into like an interview. And then some woman falls in love with him over the course of time listening to him on the radio. And then they meet at, like, I almost said the Eiffel Tower. That's not, what's that thing in Seattle?
Space Needle.
Space Needle. Or maybe it was New York where he was at, and they went to the Empire State Building. So that's where that trope comes from when you see it in modern movies and storytelling, where they gotta go meet on the roof of such and such building. What time is it? It's getting awfully dark for 6:30.
Sunset's at like 7 tonight.
All right, as promised, we're doing some chain. This is a much thinner product than we're usually making chain out of.
It should make welding easier.
Well, I like a little bit more chunk in case I screw it up.
No safety net.
Yeah, exactly. So it's funny. If you've been with the channel for a while, you know I've been making a lot of chain. This is probably what, the 4th or 5th stream we've done where it's just making chain. So I've done a lot of chain. We have a whole bucket of chain sitting here. You can't really see any of that. But Thursday night at class, custom blacksmithing in Atlanta, Indiana, there's this new guy that just started. It was his 2nd night there. And he had learned S-hooks and chisels and stuff. And we're like, well, next would be links and welding and stuff. And I happen to be standing there. I'm like, I got you on this one. I'll take care of this one. And Kurt, the old blacksmith, he's like, yeah, Jesse, you've had lots of practice. You take him back. So me and this new guy, Brian, we went back to the corner I like to use. And we spent the night teaching him 3 different styles on making chain link. And then welded them all together. This dude was a great student. Listened to everything I said. Like, listened, not just heard me kind of thing. And all his welds stuck on the first take. All the way around. It was a good night. Great success for him. Where's my other one? So, with this being mild steel, I can work it a little black. It'll be all right. See if I can get that metal hot without burning it in half. So, as we're done exploring 90s movies and making me feel super old because I just had blank stares from the entire crowd and Brittany and Levi. Even the woman in the red dress was like, we don't get these cultural references.
The mousy boyfriend, though, seemed intrigued.
He seemed into it. He perked up when I said, you got mail. Like, he pulled his phone out and looked at his phone. Like, I don't know if that's a ringtone he uses or something. I came up with a theory the other night that kind of ruins the Matrix, like the entire premise.
Uh-oh.
And I'd talk about it, but I need feedback on this one, and you've probably never seen it, so that doesn't help.
I've seen The Matrix.
Which ones?
Yes.
Did you see that new BS one on Resurrection or whatever, where he's old and sad and in therapy?
No, I didn't know that it existed.
Yeah, they try to convince him that the whole thing didn't exist and didn't happen. They put him on medication that happens to be blue pills. I'm not making that up.
Nobody said anything, and then he just started yelling at.
You didn't see the look Levi just gave me when I said that. He said that like I was pulling his
I
leg.
feel like you have dreamed this up. There's no way that they did something so terrible.
It gets worse. That's not even the worst part about that movie. Oh my God, it's so bad. It's so bad. Oh, that was almost as bad as that Matrix movie. So yeah. I'm gonna mess up my one heat streak here.
It's mild steel, just hit it harder.
No, I ran out of heat. I'm gonna have to start that whole thing over. You got me all mad about the Matrix.
You brought it up.
Well, he egged me on to keep talking about the bad one. So, general premise of the first three: people are software.
I thought it was people are batteries. But yeah.
When they're in the Matrix,
Yes.
they're software.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you're meat bags on the outside, but inside the Matrix, you're just software.
Yeah.
Some programs, instead of being deleted, do the icky thing and cross the barrier, and they become werewolves and vampires, as implied by Persephone when she shoots the two henchmen of the Merovingian with silver bullets. And when, I almost said Dr. Smith, we're not talking about Lost in Space. When Agent Smith was presented with deletion, he decided just to stick around, be like, nah. And then he gets this magic power somehow of being able to replicate himself, which I'm sure is just an extension of him being able to, you know, take over anybody's body because it's all software, right?
Yeah.
So if everybody's just software and Neo is supposedly special because he's got an extra 1 or 0 or something, that's the solving the remainder of an equation vis-a-vis concordingly da 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 that the architect explains, then why can't our hacker heroes, who are the best hackers in the whole universe that hack their way to literal freedom, why can't they not just figure out how to patch their own software and then they all become as powerful as the one? And if the humans figure it out, the machines will obviously know how to do it. So then we have agents that are as powerful as the one, and then normal humans that are as powerful as the ones, and then it just becomes an arms race, and it's just an escalation of the B166ER killed his master, so then the robots had a revolution and they started their own country, and then O1 started roaring against the free world, and then they scorched the sky to shut down the machines, and then the machines were like, we'll turn your babies into batteries. So it's just an escalation, and it ruins the whole fucking movie.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
That's the problem with applying programming logic to the movie. It's like going and watching a war movie and actually applying logic to what happens. It doesn't work.
But I'm not wrong, right?
No, you're not. But a fun segue from that, I was scrolling through the internet today, came across an article. They have finally fully mapped the brain of a fruit fly, and they were able to give it prompts. Like,
Last time I saw a fruit fly was when I threw an apple.
yeah, but they're able to fully give it input. They can go, hey, there's food over here, and they can watch the brain go, well, I'm going to go bring my mouth to this food now. So we are getting very close to the matrix reality of we can control brains with computers, which is kind of frightening.
Well, we've also got the Neuralink thing that kind of works.
Yeah, like it's helping paraplegics, but we don't have the human brain mapped the way that we do have this fruit fly, which is probably a good thing.
It's only a matter of time.
That's the scary part. But they were trying to postulate, okay, well, do we really have free will because we gave this little brain a prompt like, hey, there's food over here, and it did what we wanted it to do. So, an interesting argument about are we slaves to our instincts or what?
Yes. I'm curious though. I don't know if your headphones picked that up, but did anybody hear anything that you just said because you're standing behind the microphone?
It's picked up not very well. I probably could have turned up the gain and.
Or you could have stepped over here.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're new to the stream, we've been doing this since about May or so. So we're all probably on stream like 10 or something. Levi still hasn't figured out which side is the front of the camera, which side is the back of the camera.
I know very well which side's the front of the camera. I just don't like being in front of the camera.
So yeah, I ruined my own favorite movie. But to be fair, I ruined it way after the Wachowskis did.
The Wachowskis, the one that made the terrible sequel that you were talking about?
Yep. Show did. Gosh, it was so bad. It was so bad. And I was at the theater to see it because, of course. And the guy sitting next to me, I was there by myself. And the guy sitting next to me, he's like, "What the was that?" I'm like, "Dude, they lost control of this movie a while ago." He's like, "Yeah, they did." And when it ended, I was like, "Dang, for as bad that was, that still really fell apart at the end." He's like, "I still don't know what was going on." We just laughed at how bad that was. Gosh, it was so bad.
Matrix Generation? Is that what it was called?
I think it was called Resurrection.
There's Resurrections, and then there's Matrix Generation that came out in 2023.
2023? I don't recall hearing anything about.
Oh, it's a documentary about the Matrix. That's what it is.
I was one of those nerds that when the DVD came out, I bought the fully loaded, had like 80 hours or something of extra material of the making of and all that jib jab. So I wonder if that documentary is just that stuff rebranded.
Probably.
But yeah, they did a lot of wild things, like the trench coat that Neo wore for the fight scene in the rain against all the Agent Smiths, like where they are lined up in the street, and he and the one were fighting in the air, and then that was Resurrection. No, what was the name of the third movie? Reloaded and Revolution. They specifically designed that jacket to be made out of a specific material that would hold water just enough, but would easily release it. So when the stunt double punched him, it would create a lot of spray and stuff so that it could help with the special effects.
Nice.
They, for Reloaded, they redesigned a tractor trailer truck that the very back set of wheels on the trailer also turned so they could get the truck to spin around in like 2 lanes of street. And if you watch that part in Reloaded, one of the agents like spins the semi truck around real quick towards the end of the fight, the chase scene, if you look real closely, the back wheels are completely enshrouded in smoke, so it could hide the fact that the entire undercarriage rotated.
I don't know why they did that. There are plenty of semi-truck trailers that have wheels that do that so they can move really long things like windmill blades.
Well, take that up with them. I don't have an answer for that. Brittany, you seem kind of cold. You want to come stand by the fire a little bit? If you go around the other way, if you're trying to avoid the cameras like somebody else, you can stand over there. You won't be in any other shots. Well, you'll be in the other shot. You can be in any shot you want. Any commenters or any interactions there? What'd they have to say?
Hi.
Who was that?
Me.
It was you.
Yeah.
There you go. Hi.
So good over here.
So to get away from movies, both terrible and good, thought of maybe an interesting story. I bounced it off of Brittany the other night, and she didn't seem to think it was a terrible idea, so I think I'll go through with it. Where did the name BrimstoneForge come from? Levi, I'm pretty sure you've heard this one, yes?
Yes, I have.
Brittany's heard it more times than she cares to. So, Brimstone was my very first Dungeons and Dragons character. If you go back a few streams, I did a stream with a buddy of mine that's about 18 feet tall. He was the DM, and this was back in the 5th grade. Started playing D&D for the very first time, and I thought in my 5th grade old brain, it'd be a cool, edgy name to go with Brimstone. Brimstone was a furry little creature type thing that lived in a hole in the ground. Not much unlike a Tolkien creature, but it wasn't the same. Like hobbits in the Tolkien book are like really small humans with hairy knuckles. This character was fur head to toe, like a very tiny werewolf kind of thing. And yeah, so I played that character from 5th grade until the end of summer before the 9th grade. And we had gone on a billion adventures, conquered the universe, the world, all that before Brimstone, the character, retired. Me and Ty decided that with getting ready to start high school, we wouldn't have time for such games anymore. Chain link. Huzzah. Da 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 da. So we decided that we weren't going to have time for games anymore, such as that, because high school life was going to be much more busy. So we decided to retire the game and retire the character. And yeah, we had, like I said, I'd played this character for years and years and years and years, and thousands of hours of game time and all that. And Brimstone, the character, kind of retired. We gave him a real happy send-off ending, and me and Ty sat back and said, well, that was a fun several years of our lives developing the story and stuff. Well, it was such a fun character to play. I played that character for several years, been through all sorts of stuff with it. So whenever I'd play video games or do this or that, I would always just use the name Brimstone to kind of keep that legacy going. And I learned years later that Ty had been doing the same thing. It wasn't even his character. He was the DM, but he was still using the name Brimstone to kind of keep the legacy alive. And so yeah, I played countless video games as Brimstone. Heck, when I played Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, I had 100% completion 4 times, and 2 of those were under the name Brimstone. So yeah, when it came to doing my own forge in the shop and then the live stream and stuff, it just felt natural to use that same name, Brimstone. So that's where BrimstoneForge comes from. Or the headline could read, 40-year-old man refused to give up character he created in the 5th grade. That makes it sound way more sad, though.
Oh, it's funny.
It's kind of too bad that we aren't anywhere near a volcano. It'd be interesting to see you try and forge over some magma.
You know, that's a silly bucket list item I have. Like, for one, I want to drink spicy apple juice from a glass over glacial ice that I like chip off and put in the glass myself. Also, I want to go get to like, well, it's lava when it's outside the earth, not magma, which is what it is on the inside. So I want to go find like a lava flow, and I know I couldn't get close enough to light a cigar off of it, but if I could stick a stick in it and light the stick and then light a cigar off a lava flow, that would be amazing.
It would count.
You need to make friends with a blacksmith in Iceland. That way you can fly out there and use his equipment to blacksmith something over a lava forge.
I don't know if you could, I don't even know if that's like physically possible. Got a little bit of a rag here. I'm just trying to get rid of it. Like that. But yeah, forging over magma or lava would be fun. I just don't quite understand the logistics of how you would do that.
Very carefully.
It's a big boom.
Sounded like those drums the orcs carry. I was looking for the lights of Gondor to see if they were lit. Gondor calls for aid.
Rohan will answer.
I am no man. How dumb is that? In the movie on semantics. Sounds like something you'd write.
You're not wrong.
I know.
I feel like I should be insulted by it, but I'm not.
It's, you can't be insulted by the truth, you know? Like, it's just,
I don't know. Have you looked on the internet?
I feel like you can.
Plenty of people are insulted by the truth.
The internet's dead. It's all AI generated content and bots.
You're not far off.
Saw somebody make a comment about how AI is very close to taking over millions of jobs. Like, no, it is not.
It unfortunately is. We'll probably have a lot more AI workers than we will have fusion power before too long.
Yeah, no. We got a good long while before anything like that is happening. I keep forgetting I have a second camera.
All the lights are getting to you.
Could be.
So much equipment now to.
There's so much going on. Yeah, our little silly stream has grown so much. Like the very first 2 live streams I did with this stand and my cell phone, using my propane forge that you can barely see in the frame right there. And then I bought these cool cameras here. I don't know if you can see them. Here's one right here. Got 2 of those now. So that was the first big leap. And then sound sucked. So we added a small microphone, and that wasn't great. So we added a bigger microphone. And then we added a couple of lights to light the bottom because the sun was casting so much shadows you couldn't see my face. And then the light was all uneven and crazy. So then we added 2 more lights. So now it's 2 cameras, 4 lights, and a shotgun mic, a soundboard to manage all that, all the sound stuff. Really growing over here. So as we joked last week, we've improved the audio and the video. Now we just got to improve the blacksmithing. Boink. Scoopski potatoes. So if you're watching this and you happen to have a hookup for some glacial ice or lava, hit me up. I'll come see you.
Just need to do one of those Alaskan cruises to get the glacial ice.
Well, there's Glacial Park that's over like Montana,
I think.
like West Dakota, like over there. There's Glacial Park there that you can do a long hike to get to some. And Alaska, yeah, you can kayak out to some in Alaska. And I think Iceland maybe has some stuff hanging off the coast.
I don't know if Iceland does. I'm fairly certain Greenland does.
That may be what I'm thinking about. And the Viking strike again. They fooled me. That sun is dropping fast.
It's about that time.
It is about that time. What time is it?
Almost 7.
Almost 7. Almost an hour into the stream.
The sun goes down. We might need to turn down those lights a bit. Get kind of washed out.
I think we're going to finish this link and call it a night. Because when that sun drops behind those trees, the temperature is probably going to plummet too.
Yeah, I think tonight we're supposed to hit like 37 degrees or something like that.
That's radical. So
Makes me want to go fishing.
I'm getting a little washed out here too after the... Yeah, it's a little better. So yeah. So I went to go talk to the city about getting my permit to put the shed in the back so we can move all this to the shed. And then lighting won't matter as much when the sun drops out because we won't be staying out in the dark. We'll have lights in the shop. Just the city, they're sitting on my permit application. They haven't done anything with it. When I went to go talk to them, the lady basically told me to kick rocks. So if you're in the Indianapolis area and you have an in on permits, hit me up. Let's talk so I can get that done. I don't want to be out here in the rain and the snow with camera gear and like have to buy 60 umbrellas to put over the top of everything.
And I'm cold enough to be standing by the forge already. You don't want to see me if it's snowing. Actually, you probably won't see me. I'll be inside by the fire.
It'd be moderating from the living room.
Yep. I'll just like send a text like, in the WhatsApp group. So and so says this.
All right. I'm calling that a link. It's not pretty, but it's a link. So, everybody, do some quick plugs real quick because it's a shorter stream and my stride's all broken. So, Custom Blacksmithing, Atlanta, Indiana. Come take blacksmithing lessons. Show up on a Thursday night. Look for me. Say, Jesse, teach me some stuff. We'll go over to the forge that literally has my name on it. It says Jesse's Corner. we'll go stand in the corner and I'll show you how to make some stuff. It'll be cool. It's a lot of fun. Naturally, Nikki Blaine's downtown Indy, best cigar bar in the Midwest. If you know a better one, you tell me about it. I'll tell you you're wrong and then go visit it. DB_Forge on Instagram. Coyote Ironworks or something like that on Instagram. From the Mold. Sharp Bend Forge. Of course, Daniel's Real Estate. I think that's everybody. Am I forgetting anybody?
I think that's
I don't
everybody.
think so. You haven't talked about your cigar tonight, though.
I did. I started us off with that. But the most obvious thing, BrimstoneForge.us. But if you found me, you probably found the other stuff. But BrimstoneForge.us is my link tree. Is that what the kids call it?
Yeah.
That'll take you to like the TikToks, the Instagram, and the shop, and here, and all those fun things. The Facebook, maybe. So yeah, check it out. DM me if you want to see me make something, or if you got questions, concerns, hot take on one of my hot takes. But I think that's about it. Do you guys have anything you want to promote or say or hi or no?
Hi.
Brittany says
Crispy
hi.
potatoes.
Levi thinks he's too good to say hi or goodbye tonight, but that's perfectly fine.
Long farewell, auf Wiedersehen.
Oh, we're going to have to pay for that if you keep singing it. So, we'll see you next week. Same Forge channel, same Forge time. And maybe I'll have a project picked out for next week. So, we will see you then.